Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. Episode 4 of the Evolve with Anastasia talk show. I'm very happy to have Dean as my guest today. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you get notifications to all of my up and coming videos that I'll be posting as well. But let's jump in. Thank you, Dean, for agreeing to do this interview with me. I really appreciate your time.
No worries, I'm happy to be here.
Cool, man. So let us go. Tell me a bit about yourself. Who is Dean Collins?
It's a difficult question. I'm 20 years old. I'm from the South UK. There's a lot of different things about me, I'd say. I've had a lot of stuff in my past that's made me a very different person. So I started out as a gymnast when I was 5 years old.
Wow.
And up until the age of 16, I was training 6 days a week, 4 hours a day. And I was one of the best in Great Britain at times. Yeah, and then when I got to 16, I was diagnosed with Lyme's disease, which meant I had to stop. And at the time, it felt like the end of the world. But looking back here now is a little bit of a blessing, because since then I've started doing so much different stuff, including traveling, which has made me start my own online business. So yeah, I see it as a blessing because it's opened my eyes to another world, essentially.
Yeah, usually when hectic things happen in our life, in the moment, it's always the end of the world. But when you look back at it, like you say, many times it's happened to me as well. And then you're like, wow, that was actually a blessing in disguise. And you're actually grateful for it at the end of the day. It's all about perspective and how you look at things that happen to you in your life.
Yeah, definitely.
And you said you're 20 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. I wish I came across these online things when I was 20 years old.
I know. I was really lucky, actually, because my brother came across it first. And another thing that was a blessing in disguise was that I knew I was going to start the online business because I saw that my brother had done it. I saw how successful he was being. And then I went to go to Australia, and I wrote down all my goals for the next few years, months, whatever. And I wrote that I wanted to start my online business by the end of 2021. And then because, I didn't have much money after saving up for Australia and things like that. But then I had to come home from Australia 4 months early due to the virus, which has given me all this time in lockdown where I'm not doing anything. So I've started my business essentially a year early. So then when travel opens up again, I'll be able to, the world is my oyster.
Exactly. So once again, something hectic like this virus going on being a blessing in disguise. It's definitely been a learning curve for me. It's been a roller coaster, but there's a lot of things that I discovered about myself and about life during this time as well. So I'm grateful for it, even though it's not nice what has been going on, but it's definitely had its upsides as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell us, how long have you been in the online business world and how has your experience been this far?
Only about a month.
Okay.
Maybe less. I'm really enjoying it. It's something completely different for me because I've always been the type of person that never really used social media. I never really enjoyed it. I prefer to be out in nature without my phone sort of person. So when I first started it and I started using social media and I was trying to post all the time and that sort of thing, it really overwhelmed me and I came out with a lot of anxiety about it.
Okay.
And there'd even be nights where I can't sleep because I wasn't used to staring at a screen for this long. So yeah, that was a learning curve, but now I'm starting to settle into it a little bit and chill out. I'm really enjoying it. It's just so much nicer than working 9 to 5 because I've had quite a few jobs over the last few years that I absolutely hate. So it's quite nice just to relax a little bit more.
I think, like, I know people that enjoy working 9 to 5 in an office job, and all respect to them, but I hear you when you say, like, can't be stuck in a place the whole day from 9 to 5. I can't, like, I just can't. And that's exactly why we need to go to the online world, because, I mean, with what we do, you can travel, work from anywhere you want, from your couch, from the beach, wherever you want, and there it is. The money will come in regardless of where you are, so you don't have to be in an office. And I think that's the cool thing about what we do as well. For us that likes traveling, that's definitely a big benefit of what we do.
Yeah, I worked in a factory before I went to Australia, where it was a warehouse. It was Class, the tractor company. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No.
No, I don't even know if they're international. It might just be England, but yeah, they're a big tractor company, and it was the warehouse for them, and I absolutely hated it. I was working 11 hours a day, 6 days a week, and yeah, it was brutal. I
I
couldn't
can
stand it.
imagine.
I didn't really like anyone that worked there, but that was the motivation, I think, to start the online business, just because I knew how much I hated it, and I knew how much I had to look forward to.
That I also actually worked in logistics, and that was also 6 days a week, between 10 and 12 hours a day. And it's hectic. Like, it takes a toll on you because you don't really get time to travel or to even just spend time with your family and your friends. Like, it's all limited. And
I was miserable.
yeah, me too. I was miserable because you work so hard and you come home and you don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to spend time. You just want to go to bed, have a shower, go to bed, or eat at least sometimes. And
Yeah,
so I hear you when you say you were miserable. I was a very nice person, always grumpy because I had lack of sleep and not being able to go out and do the things that I wanted to. So I can definitely resonate with you on that one, where it was like a motivation to get out of that kind of industry.
yeah,
So
exactly.
because it makes you a miserable person if you don't enjoy what you're doing. So you said you wrote down your goals and stuff. So I'm assuming that your goals and things have changed. So what do you see for yourself or in your business in the next 3 to 5 years?
So I want to be. Wait, no, I'll rephrase that. Um, so my goals didn't necessarily change; they just moved forwards.
Okay.
So this time next year, when I'm 21, that's the age you have to be in England to get a bus license. I want to get my own minibus, kit it out, live in it, and drive around Europe.
Wow. Perfect life. What 21-year-old can say that they've got a minivan and they're traveling the whole of Europe? It's crazy.
Exactly.
But
I
there's
can't
so
wait.
many people like you out there now. I mean, there's Kieran and Amanda. I don't know if you know them, which are also in our community.
They're my upline.
Oh,
Mate,
wow. Okay,
yeah,
that makes a lot of sense now. I understand now. And I mean, when they were traveling all over where they were going, I was like, wow, like, is this even possible? Like, you always see this in the movies, and you're like, and now I'm like, I'm surrounded by these people, and they just make me realize every day more and more that this life is possible. And anybody can do it because, I mean, there's nothing extraordinary about us. We are just normal human beings, and we've just decided that we no longer want to be trapped. That's how I see it. Like, I don't want to be trapped.
yeah, definitely. I think that's where my love for traveling came from. When I did gymnastics, I was stuck in the same room 6 days a
Oh,
week
yeah.
because I was going to school, whatever time school is, and as soon as I get back from school, I'd have some food, I'd drive to the gym, and then my mum would pick me up at the end. I'd go to bed straight away, and I did that for 10 years of my life. So I think when I
Crazy.
finished, my head was just like
Yeah, there's
overload.
actually a world
There's
out
so
there.
much to see. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's where my love for traveling came from. I finished school. I went to Canada and New Zealand in my first year, which was incredible. I opened my eyes to what's out there. And then as soon as I got back, I started saving for Australia. And then yeah, went to Australia. So
You know, as soon as you start traveling, even with me, the first time I traveled abroad, my mind was blown. I was like, okay, there's such a much more bigger world out there than the little town that I grew up in, because that's all you know. You used to travel from province to province, maybe go to the coast or whatever. But when you go abroad, you're like, wow, this is
it's the change in
actually
culture.
wow, yeah, culture shock. I went into culture shock the first time I traveled abroad. I don't know if you've ever experienced that.
I I wouldn't say I've experienced culture shock just because the countries that I have been to have all been English speaking. They've all been
Okay,
fairly similar to what I'm used to. But
okay.
at the same time, it's still there is different cultures. It's just a little bit more um, simple, I guess
Yeah,
the word would be.
yeah. For me,
So,
going
for
from
example,
mm,
no, go on.
no, no, no. You say you. This is about you. You talk.
So when I went to Canada, every, everything's so much more chilled out that I wasn't used to. So everyone in the UK is uptight. That's something I've realised. The majority of people in England don't like their job. They're doing a job that they hate just to retire and then settle down and whatever. But then in Canada, everyone just seems so much more motivated and chilled out and just ready to live their life how it should be, which
Hmm.
was really nice.
And have you been to New Zealand?
Yeah.
And how was it there?
Yeah, really good actually. I do find though with Australia and New Zealand, they're both quite similar in the sense that they don't have much history in terms of when the white settlers came across, because I can't remember what it is. It's only been like 200 or 300 years or something like that they've had the history going, if you know what I mean. I
Okay.
think it was um, Australia, might have been New Zealand, one of the two, was settled on when the British Empire
Oh,
crashed.
yeah.
So that's the difference in history compared to England and those sort of countries.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. You just taught me something new. So, what are you most excited about regarding your online business? What is the one thing that you're just so excited about that makes you jump out of bed in the morning?
Freedom. Just freedom. Yeah, in every sense of the word. The time freedom, the financial freedom. Because I've since quitting gymnastics, the same happened with skills that I've learned. So I was always confined to one thing when I was doing gymnastics, but it also, because I did it for so long, I trained so hard, it made I've told people before that I feel superhuman in some ways,
Oh,
which
yeah.
sounds quite funny, but like my coordination, my reaction time, my flexibility, my strength is all really good. So I pick up new skills quite easily. So since doing gymnastics, I now surf, I skate, I snowboard, I'm a
Wow.
DJ, I play a few different musical instruments. So I think that part of the reason that I'm excited for the online business is to have the money to do all these things, because there's so much things that I want to do and I know I want to do it, but I just can't afford it.
You'll definitely be able to. I believe that what we do, there doesn't matter how long it takes you, you will eventually get to the freedom in all levels. I mean, if you look at all the people that are coaches and mentors within our community, they all managed to do it within 2 years maximum. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
Kira and Amanda got their first 10 grand month in April.
yeah, I remember that. That's crazy. Like, I remember Amanda said she wrote it down every day for so long, 10K month, 10K month, 10K month. And then boom, there it was. And they were still living in the treehouse in Bali. Like, I mean, those things you see in movies, and here they are, part of our community. And they're just two ordinary people, madly in love with life and with each other. And they're just helping everybody else to do the same. And just blows my mind every time that I think about it or talk about it.
Yeah, I couldn't ask for better coaches, I'll be honest. Kieran just motivates me so much because I see quite a lot of similarities in him that I do myself. He said that he just worked in an office, I think it was 16 months ago now, and now he's traveling full time. Well, he will be traveling full time. Like you said, living in a villa in Bali. Dream.
Just dream, yeah. I mean, and it's possible. Like, since sometimes to me, I still feel like, yo, is it like real? Can it be real? But then you experience something within the business, and then you're like, this shit is real, man. Just accept the truth. Just accept it for what it is. But I think it's because we were so wired as youngsters, or how we grow up, that you have to trade your time for money. And I think that's where it was me, especially where the disconnect, if I can call it that, comes in, that you have to work hard to earn good money. And within this business, you still have to put in the hours and stuff, but it's not the same as working in a
No.
corporate world, in the corporate world for a boss.
Yeah, my dad has been working the same job since he left school. So he's 53 now. He's been a mechanic at a garage for 35 years or something like that now. So when I came out and said, well, I was quite lucky actually, because my brother came out and said he wanted to do the online business first. So he went head on into the family with it. I just kind of went smoothly into it. But yeah, when my brother said about it, there was a massive conflict because
I can imagine.
yeah, it's the normal stuff. Like they are just looking out for us at the end of the
Yeah.
day, and when they first saw it, they went with the usual pyramid scheme sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he didn't really understand because he just thought, you have to work 9 to 5
Mm.
until retirement, like I was saying before.
But that's the older generation. Even my mom, like, my mom's very supportive of everything that I do. She's never not supported me. Even if she knew that this was a bad idea, she would still support me. But even with her, she doesn't understand that you can actually earn money online. You don't have to like be at an office and work for a company or work for a boss to earn money. So she's also still trying to figure out how this thing works. And I just say, Ma, I got money. And she's like, why, from work? And I'm like, no, Ma, from an online business. And she just goes, I still don't understand how this works. But as long as you're happy, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I'm the same. I was talking to my girlfriend's dad the other day, and he was asking me what I was doing for work now, and I said, well, I'm not really working at the moment. I've just started an online business. And then I was telling him a little bit about it, and then he said, so are you going to get a job anytime soon? No, I'm not.
You don't have to, like, you don't have to. Like, I'd always say to people, like, don't quit your job in the first, like, 3 months. Like, don't do that if you are not yet stable. Well, if you've got no debt, like Lily, she managed to quit her job within, like, 6 months because she didn't have anything to pay. So she could just quit her job, say stuff that I don't want to do that anymore, just focus on her business. But I usually tell people, like, if you have overheads and things to pay, debt and that, don't just quit your job. Like, don't be stupid. But like with you, I mean, you don't have to go and work a job. You just take all your time and focus it on your business. And the more time you put in, the sooner you'll get to the top.
Yeah, well,
So
I got back from Australia. I think I started this business when I got back from Australia, which was in April. My birthday was in May. And because I didn't have a job when I got back from Australia, technically, I'm retired at the age of 19.
what is this even? What is this life even? Like, there's so many other people like you as well that I've spoken to. Always say to them, I wish that I came across this opportunity when I was your guys' age. I can just imagine where I would have been now and how many places I would have traveled. But I'm not old or dead yet, so I can still do it. I think it would have just been nice to have this opportunity at the age of 20. So you guys are very, 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 very blessed.
Yeah, a lot of people in my team say that. They say, oh, when I was 20, I was just going out and getting drunk every
Me
night.
too.
And yeah, I was
Working a
quite
job
lucky
that
though,
I
because
hated.
I was kind of always an outcast at school because I
Yeah.
was a gymnast. Everyone else was a footballer. I wouldn't really say I was bullied because I never let it affect me, but there was a few times where I just almost had enough and had to go and deal with it myself, but I was usually quite mature about it. So I remember this one time, I was just sat by myself in the middle of this field. I think I was about 15, 16 at the time. I was at school. And I had my head on the table, just had my earphones in, listened to music at lunchtime. And these boys came up behind me and filled a massive condom up with water and slapped it over my back and just absolutely soaked me. And I stood up and there was a massive crowd around me. So they'd obviously hyped it up and told everyone it was going to happen. And my bag was about 5 meters behind me on the floor. And I got up, turned around and started walking towards my bag. And these boys obviously thought I was walking towards them. They absolutely bolted. But instead, I just got my sports kit out of my bag, just got changed in front of everyone, sat back down and put my earphones back in.
Well, that's
So,
maturity. Like you say, there's different ways to deal with different things. And I think the way that you acted there says a lot about your character and as a person.
yeah, and like you said before, I think that was another blessing in disguise, because if I did fit in at school, I probably would be one of these people that's going out and getting drunk every night and all that sort of stuff. I've never been into that because I've never had the friends to do it with, really. I mean, I've got friends, but not the type that do that.
Okay, yeah. Definitely, because yeah, I remember being a little rebel. That's all we did. Party. We lived to party. You would work Monday to Friday, and Friday used to be your favorite day. Sunday used to be the dreadful day, and Monday used to be the worst day of the week. I
Yeah.
think the amount of money that I used to spend on partying, I could have been probably a millionaire by now if I invested all that money. But hard lessons that we get to learn, and I'm grateful for those things that I went through, because I can pass that on to the youngsters that I speak to, and not tell them what to do, but warn them about, like, don't waste your life. Like, I wasted a lot of years of my life. A lot of people won't call it wasted, but to me, I could have done so much more with my life than what I did. So yeah, definitely you better off than living that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
Do you believe that the online business world is the future, and why?
I think it definitely is, just because most people are going to be made redundant anyway. in the future, just because so much of our jobs can be taken over by artificial intelligence and things like that. And also, especially for me, I don't want to ever settle with a 9 to 5 or have to stay in one place. I've always been the type of person, if someone just said to me right now, I'll come out to the other side of the world without even thinking about it. Yeah, okay. And I don't want to have to think about, oh, okay, I've got a book holiday from my job and all this. I can just, okay, yeah, I'm coming and I can still earn money out there. So yeah, definitely for me, it's the future. And I think for a lot more people, as time goes on, a lot more people will realize how important it is.
I think with this pandemic that we went through now, I think a lot of people's eyes have opened, because how many people lost their jobs. And I know of a few people that have been at their companies for many years and they just got retrenched and told, sorry, we can't afford you anymore. We can't pay you anymore. So I think the biggest lesson for me as well was that no job is secure. And like, I haven't received a full salary from my job that I'm currently still working since December last year. So
Really?
yeah, no job is secure, no paycheck is secure. And for me, if you're not doing something to not have to look in the eyes of another person to pay your bills, then you're not on the right track. And sometimes people tell me, oh, you're a bit too harsh about it, but I don't think that I am. Because I mean, if you look at what's going on in the world at the moment, if it hasn't opened your eyes to having to start your own thing, your own side hustle now, then I don't know what more you need to realize that we can't depend on a company or a job or a paycheck. We have to take care of ourselves and start our own thing.
Yeah, I think my view on the whole virus is quite frowned upon, but I think it's been massively positive. Obviously, there's been a lot of negative things that have come out of it. It's been horrible. There's been lots of deaths and things like that. But as a whole, I think it's been massively positive, because there's just been a mass awakening. Everyone just seems to be waking up to what's actually real.
I agree. And I mean, like always say to people, people ask me, what did you do at home? Because I was stuck for 45 days. I had to be inside for 45 days. What did you do with yourself? So I said, I actually went from the outside to the inside, something that I always used to run away from, because you never want to deal with what's actually going on the inside of you. And when you actually sit down and you have a conversation with yourself, you start to realize what's actually going on. And then you can start to work on those things. So what did I do? I read books. I watched web classes and stuff. I dove into my business, went through all the training and things, and I just learned about myself. And I think that was the biggest blessing of all that's been happening, is having the time to work on myself. Fitness, I started exercising twice a day. Like, who does that? Like, I never used to exercise. I was like, what is exercise? We're not going to the gym. We're going to the bar. We're not going to the gym. And it was just a whole different turnaround. So like you say, it hasn't all been negative, not for me. And I'm sure, like you just mentioned, not for you as well. And that's what I always say to people. It's all about perspective. Yeah, a lot of things have happened, but it's not all bad. And like you mentioned, the Great Awakening. I think that's the coolest thing, that everybody is like spiritually awakened. And I really enjoyed that part of what's been going on, is being spiritually awakened.
Yeah, I think I listened to a podcast once and it said about, so I'm guessing you know about the law of attraction and things like that. Yeah, so it said that if you believe that everything happens for a reason and that it's for the greater good, then it will be. So if you, I don't know, if you have a puncture in your tire in your car and you have to pull over, oh, this is cool. I might get to meet someone new that comes to fix my tire. Do you know what I mean? Then there is a chance that that good thing, well, there's high chance that good thing is going to happen. Whereas if you're sitting there thinking, oh, this is the end of the world, this is terrible, then it is going to affect you that way. So I think I used to have a saying. I used to say to my mum and my brother, they both suffered from anxiety quite bad. And I used to say to them, everything's going to be okay no matter what. So no matter what happens, everything is going to be okay. So the worst thing in the world could happen. So it's happened to me a few times in the past, like we've discussed. The worst thing that I could imagine has happened. But then a few years down the line, it's the best thing.
Exactly. All about perspective. Like I'm like, in the moment you think like, shit, man, like, what is this even? Why is this happening to me? Blah, 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 blah. But you need to be aware of your thoughts and how you're thinking about this bad situation. Because like you say, what you think, thoughts become things. So whatever you put into the world, that's what's going to happen. Like you said, now, simple example, you get a puncture in your tire, pull over. Maybe I get to meet someone. Maybe I get to speak to someone. Maybe someone's going to pull over that's having a bad day. And just by me talking to them, I can turn it around for them, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe you've been seeking for an answer about something that's been happening in your life, and this person comes and you have a chat and there's your answer. Like, it doesn't
Yeah,
always have
exactly.
to be negative, you know?
Yeah, so my situation at the moment, I've come back from Australia and I saved up quite a lot of money for this big trip, and it literally all went on a flight home. And obviously I knew I wasn't going to be out there for the whole time, so I splashed out a little bit more than what I would have done if I had to be out there for 5 months. So I came back with pretty much no money, and the insurance company, when we tried to get our money back, have been, let's just say, they haven't been very easy with it all. And we've been on the phone for quite a while trying to get it sorted, and they've basically refused to give us any money. But my mum called them while we were out there, and we're convinced that the person who she called misread one of the terms and conditions, which means we've filed a complaint, and hopefully they're going through it and we might get our money back. But my girlfriend is really worried. She's stressing out about it. She's thinking that we're not going to get the money. But in my eyes, I'm seeing it that I haven't been given the money straight away as soon as I've got back from my trip, because the universe, whatever, the higher power, the energy, whatever it is wanting me to smash out this business, work really hard because I need the money, rather than just giving me the money on the plate. And then when I've,
Exactly.
got my feet on the ground, the money will come.
Such a wise young man. Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love what you just said. And you're right. You are so right. It's easier for us to jump into a mindset of being negative about something, because I think us as humans, I don't know if I can call it, but we feed on it. It's easy to be miserable. It's easy to be unhappy. It's easy to complain.
Habit.
It's such a bad habit. And it was, even for me, I had to break out of that. But that's why I always speak to people now about being aware. Be aware of your thoughts, be aware of your emotions, be aware of your body, be aware of what your body is saying to you, be aware of what's happening around you. Because I think it was a podcast or something I listened to, I can't remember, but the man said that wherever you are right now in life was once a thought. And it was like a light bulb that went off for me. Like, I remember the times that I prayed I could just go to a nowhere land where nobody could understand what I was saying. I couldn't understand them, and I just wanted to be alone. And that's exactly what I got. I live in a small town in the middle of China. There's no McDonald's, no mall, no KFC, nothing. And that's where I am right now, like a small isolated place where I don't understand nobody understands me, and everybody just leaves me alone. And that's also the thing, like, be careful what you pray for, because back then it was the best idea. But now it actually kind of sucks, because sometimes you just want to have a conversation with someone and then you can't. Sometimes you just want to go to the mall and have a coffee, but you can't because there's too far from you. So definitely what you think, definitely, I do believe it. Thoughts become things sometime, whether it's tomorrow or a year from now, it's definitely the truth.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so the last question. What advice do you have for other young men your age that is also looking to create a better future for themselves?
That's a difficult question.
Say, for example, I was a lad that came to you and said, Dean, you know what? I'm turning 21 next year. I just lost my job. I need to do something. Like, can you help me out? Like, what is it that you're doing? How can I better my life? Like, give me
Don't
some
have a
advice.
plan B.
Don't have a plan B?
Yeah, because I think too many people play it safe nowadays. I think so many people are like, yeah, I really want to do this, but there's quite a high chance that that won't work for me. So I'm just going to sit back here with this job and just, see where it gets me.
Okay.
Whereas if you're just like, okay, I want to work online, I'm going to put all my time into that. I'm going to put all my time into getting this bus that I want to buy. I want to put all my time into being a professional footballer or being a scientist or it's not going to work unless you put all of your time into it. And people need to just, life is short. And I know it's hard for me to say that when I'm 20, because I'm still not of an age where I look back at younger kids and say, life goes fast, because at my age, it still seems like it's really long. But yeah, I can see that it's going quickly, and you need to just, you don't want to get to a point in your life where you look back and you regret what you haven't done.
Okay, that's some advice for me, because I always have a plan B. I'm like, always, there must be a plan B. I can't just have a plan A, like plan B, plan C, plan D until Z. I can't not have that. But what you're saying is actually, wow.
I think that could be just because I'm young and I'm a little bit reckless and I don't really care that much. Obviously, no, I care about what I want, but I don't care what the bad outcome could be, if you know what I mean. I don't really have that mindset about what could go wrong. It's just
Yeah,
what could go right.
that's good. That's a good mindset to have. Wow, like you just taught me something as well, something to think about. Like, just basically say in nice words, fuck it, and just do it. Like, don't be
Yeah,
scared.
exactly.
Like, don't have. Wow, you actually made me think now. Thank you for that. Like, I needed that
No
advice.
worries. No worries.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was all the questions. So thank you, Dean. Is there anything else that you would like to say to anybody watching this before we jump off?
No, I think that's it.
That's it. Okay, cool. Thank you again for joining me on this interview. I appreciate your time. Take care.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Dean. Bye.
Bye.